Think Realty Nation, it's our host, Abhi. Welcome to the show, the Think Realty podcast. Have a really good show lined up for you today. We're talking about real estate, and one of my favorite things about real estate is you can get wealthy with real estate. You can build generational wealth with real estate. You can use a multitude of strategies with investing in real estate. And our goal here at the Think Realty podcast and during some of these interviews and talking through strategies is to give you the most up-to-date information that we know and that our guests know so that you can benefit financially. And that ultimately is the end goal, so that you can be the success that you want, whatever you define success to be. So let's jump into today's show. Real quick before we do, this podcast today is brought to you by Norado Real Estate Investments, your premier source for cash flow investment property. Check them out. Go to www.turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. Again, that's www.turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. My guest today is Nick Veira, and we're talking about real estate. Nick, I'm so excited for this conversation, man, because, you know, there aren't a lot of folks that have some good, solid strategies. And everybody's thinking, well, geez, I've got a wholesale, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And I've got my notes in front of me. You're the CMO of Alpha Home Flipping, and you're the CEO of From Rags to Rental. So give us a little background. Who are you? What do you do?
Good. So my name is Nick Veira. I've been a consultant and sales strategist for about 10 years now. I've been helping a number of different corporations pretty much since the age of 19 by scaling their sales teams, building their sales departments, helping them streamline operations. I used to run a venture capitalist firm out of Nevada for a few years, where actually we built a system for real estate companies, realtors, called Real Lead Pro back then. That would help them with their systems and automation. And over the last few years, what I've been doing is helping business coaches in the real estate space grow their businesses effectively, but also, ethically, right? One big thing with coaches in this space is they like to do a lot of upsells without giving all of the details that people need to be successful in their programs, and they kind of force them into coaching programs. And what we do is we try and deliver everything someone needs at every single stage of the process, whether they need a DIY solution or they need a done with you solution. We make sure that people get everything that they need. So that's how I got in with Alpha Home Flipping with Nick Ruiz, who's my partner in that business. He's been flipping houses with his single family triad strategy or methodology for the last 20 years now. And I've come into that business as the CEMO, and I set up all the systems, the sales, marketing, and help our students with making sure that they have everything they need to be as successful as they are willing to push themselves to be with that program. Basically, we like people to feel very confident that they have absolutely everything they need. And the only thing that we're not going to fill the gap on is their discipline to do it. Right. And that's where they have to come in, because at the end of the day, having the information to be successful is like 5% of what you need. 95% of it is the mindset of pushing yourself every day to do the things that need to be done.
I love it.
And over this past year, I've been traveling a lot more because I've been running all of my businesses from my computer and my cell phone. And while traveling the world as a digital nomad, I managed to stumble upon and I've been doing some Airbnb stuff over the years, but I stumbled upon what I feel very confident is the easiest, most scalable, most lucrative, and most hands-off way to make money in the vacation rental space today. And I'm really excited to share that with everyone today, because I feel confident that a lot of people that are listening to this today will even be able to take out their phone and figure out how to get some of this business going to the point where they will be able to create passive revenue, maybe even before this podcast is over.
Man, okay,
it's
so that
easy.
That is way too much of a tease. So essentially, what you have to do is you've got to click down below, and it's going to ask you for your credit card information. That's going to go directly to Nick's bank account, and then he'll funnel it to me. I'm totally kidding. That's not going to happen. Let's talk about these secrets. Nick, Airbnb is a really smart way for real estate investors to make money. If you're not looking at maybe buying and holding for the long term, or maybe you don't want to deal with long-term tenants, Airbnb presents a very unique solution in that you have overnight guests, right? Everybody knows what Airbnb is.
Hmm.
And if you don't, I feel like you've been living under a rock for the last 2 years. Go to Airbnb.com if you don't know
Yeah.
where it is, seriously, or what it is, seriously. But Nick, what's the solution? What's the model that you've come up with? Give it to me in like 2 or 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what. All the models that there are for Airbnb. They're all great. They're very successful. Some of them don't require a lot of money to get started. The
Yeah.
really great thing about this model is that you don't need anything. You don't need to invest money into property. You don't need to furnish a unit. You don't need to rent out a unit. What you're literally doing is you're looking for vacation rentals that are already marketed on, say, classifieds, local channels, but mostly internationally. See, I was traveling in Colombia looking for a house for sale, and what I accidentally found was a lot of vacation rentals that were catered to their local market. On knowing that the tourism market is paying roughly around 2.5 to 3 times as much for these units. So I was finding units like the one I was staying in, which was about $2,200 for the month. I was finding units like that one for as low as $600 to $900 a month. And I saw these vacation rentals and I said to myself, man, how cool would it be if I reached out to these guys, started hosting their stuff on Airbnb, paid them the price they're looking for, and then kept the difference. And then I said, that's an amazing idea. Why am I still sitting here?
So Nick, I've got a question for you. I mean, I'm thinking about that, right? And I'm an engineer. I went to school for engineering, and like I'm thinking worst case scenario, right? Like I'm built to think worst case scenarios. Help me understand the liability, right? You're staying in this place, and you're looking for other essentially Airbnb arbitrage situations. You don't want to own the house. You have some type of agreement. Isn't that just like liability central? How do you kind of work through that?
Cool. So you look for places that have some experience, have some comments. It's really good if you're working with also a property manager in another country, because these property managers, they're pricing about the same, but they are responsible. They take the liability. They look after everything. They make sure that things are clean and they make sure that people are taken care of. And the only liability I would say that you're really taking is you're putting 10% down on the bookings, which is what I do with my partners in Colombia, is I'll pay 10% down. I'll pay the remainder when the guest gets there. But other than that, you don't have to clean the unit. You don't have to handle the day-to-day with them. You don't have to check them in or check them out. And they already, the host already takes responsibility for everything. They're happy with the price that they're charging. They're happy with cleaning it up after and not taking an additional fee. And you're not really taking any type of a liability until after the guest is there and they've already checked in and you've already made your payment. But you want to make sure you're building a relationship with these people and building a certain level of trust. But there's really no type of big financial liability on your plate throughout this entire process.
Wow.
It's really hands off. It's really streamlined, and it's a very simple business to do.
So I'm sure.
But there are challenges.
Yeah. Yes. Right. So we're getting to that. With any good model, even if I'm renting long term, right, single family rentals, just even if I want to buy my own Airbnb, if I want to flip a house, if I want to do small multifamily, large multifamily, new construction, whatever, there are always going to be some type of challenges. What am I not seeing? If I decide to get into this tomorrow or work with you in some capacity, what am I not seeing that you've already seen and experienced that can help me avoid some of those pitfalls?
So one thing I'll say is that the challenge that we came across that really made this into such a bigger business was completely unforeseen. And I want people to know that regardless of this challenge, you can still go ahead and do this business, not make it that complicated, and get a client before the sun sets today. And that can be worth $1,000 a month to you. But the thing that we didn't see coming was that our offer was too good. You see, we're approaching people and saying, hey, We have a company that we act as a booking agent for vacation rentals. We'll send business your way. We'll pay 100% your price. We'll book them for you for free and advertise them for free. And we take our commission from the client. Can I help you? It sounds like a no-brainer offer. It sounds like something that it's like, what? Free business? Of course, please help me. But everyone thought it was a scam.
Wow.
And that we weren't ready for. Everyone thought it, I mean, almost every single person thought it was a scam. So we're like, okay,
Man, okay.
It's too easy. It was literally too easy. So what we had to do is we had to make it complicated for our clients. So we went from, can I help you, to this is what we do. It's the greatest thing in the world. We hope you qualify, right? And what we did was we turned it into a business. And we're
interesting.
We built our booking agency online. We built online forms and applications. We put a lot of education to teach people how to do their photos and how to do different things in order to qualify, because people with poor photos won't qualify. They'll have to go to resubmit. Yep. So by making it challenging, what we did was we made it more streamlined with our clients, because apparently a lot of people in South America and Central America, if something is too good to be true, they will run for the hills.
Right.
They will run for the hills. And by creating challenges for them, making it into something that they kind of had to earn, wow. I mean, the results were night and day as far as getting people to take action, fill out the forms, give us the details we need so we can list them on Airbnb, Booking.com, and all of our other channels.
Wow.
And it's really been tremendous. But that was the big thing we didn't see coming. You know, you got to build a website. You got to set up your domain. You got to set up a branding. You know, what are the colors of your brand? What's your logo, and et cetera. And then you got to translate it to the demographic that you're appealing to, because this can't just be done in South America. This can be done in Europe. This can even be done with vacation rentals in Florida. There's people in Florida that have vacation rentals that they're putting on Craigslist for $100 a night, and it's like a 2-bedroom on the beach. The reality is people are willing to pay $180 to $250 for those units. You can reach out to some of them on Craigslist and get them signed up today too. It's very simple. And they probably wouldn't have as hard of a time as people in other international destinations, but the margin is a bit smaller.
Right.
You're still making more than a co-host and you're not doing anything,
right.
But the margin is a bit smaller.
Nick, you've really stumbled on something that is really freaking awesome. Like, this is pretty
so cool.
Yeah, like
so
it's
cool.
I'm sitting here, you're talking, and when I'm not on camera, right? I'm like taking notes. I'm like, okay, gotta do this.
Like,
must
really?
copy Nick. Like, I have this must copy Nick plus model, or just call him. Like, that's kind of,
you know,
that's kind of what I got to do.
I've been in the business coaching space for years now,
yep.
right? And I've been helping coaches grow their businesses. I've been working with other coaches for coaches, being mentored by them and learning how to scale coaching businesses. And I have some partners in my business that have done the same. And it's unanimous. We all feel very confident that in our entire lives, we've never found a business model that is genuinely easy.
So question for you.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of models that are simple, but they're not easy. They require a lot of hard work.
Yes.
This one doesn't. Go ahead. I know.
I mean,
it's a head scratcher.
I don't even, okay. All right. Hold on.
Yeah.
I had a question, and now it's just left. Competition. How many? Okay, and this is my last question, and then we have to kind of wrap up.
This is a great question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, how much competition is there in this space? Because if there's something that is a low barrier to entry, potentially, right? Just kind of like wholesaling. Wholesaling, I need a heartbeat, a business card, and a will to survive, and I'm a wholesaler, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the barrier to entry here?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. And I don't see it yet. The thing is that when we're reaching out to these people, no one else is reaching out to them. And well, there are people that are reaching out to them, and that would be the property managers out there, right?
Right.
But the property managers are hidden under the same veil. Right? They also don't know about the international market for their vacation rental. It's freaking nuts, man.
So you're telling me, so you're, I'm like looking at Ron.
Before this podcast, I want you to know I created this business model only 2 months ago,
Ah.
and there's 4 of us doing it right now. As far as I'm concerned, we're the only 4 people in the world that are doing this. So when you ask about competition, I'll just give you an example. Cartagena, Colombia, for instance, has 3,400 vacation rentals, right? And they're operating at about a 54% occupancy rate at an average of about $2,100 a month.
All right.
The average rental that is not on Airbnb in Cartagena, Colombia, rents for $675.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but the other 3,000 that are on Airbnb are making over $2,000. And there's no, so as far as competition, I mean, there's always going to be more units, but there's no one fighting you to get them. It's really cool.
so there aren't a lot of, I mean, and my producer today, his name's Ron. I mean, he's looking at me. He's like, you usually have a lot more to say about stuff, right? Like stuff is a technical term in the real estate investing space. I got nothing for you. Like this is crazy. We should not publish this, right? Like this should not go anywhere. I don't want to give Nick any airtime.
You know.
Yeah, right. It's just between like the 3 of us at this point, right? Like, right?
I've got one of my partners, Jack, and he's always telling me, he's like, why are we building a course? Why don't we build this into just tens of millions of dollars a month? And there's a lot of things I'm going to be doing over the next 10 years with coaching and all sorts of different spaces, only spaces that I consider myself an expert in. And this is just one of those things that I want to share with people that I know is going to help them, and it's going to show them where my intent is as the years go by. Because, I could just build one of the biggest international booking agencies on the planet. I could build the biggest international booking agency on the planet with this business model. But I'm not looking to be the biggest booking agent on the planet. I'm looking to be something very different. And once my partner, Jack, really understood the big scope of things, he understood, all right, we got to push this out. Let's build the program. Let's teach people how to do this.
Yes.
You know,
last question for you. Last question for you. How do I get in touch? Because like, I'm still like, I'm still kind of like speechless. All right, so how do I get in touch with you? Because I've got to do my other thing, and then I'm gonna go scribble some notes and do some math.
Two places I'd like people to consider going. Like I said, I'm also the CMO of Alpha Home Flipping. And what we do is over there, we teach the single family triad. So anyone who's dead set on learning how to be a successful wholesaler, learning how to rehab houses, fix and flip, or learning how to build a big rental portfolio, you can find us at alphahomeflipping.com. And you can join an incredible Facebook group we put together where we have a bunch of modules for free education, free downloads, PDFs, contracts, literally everything you need to at least get started. We're giving you every single resource for free to get started in that business today.
Awesome.
If you guys want more hands-on coaching, anything like that, you can reach out to us. It's alphahomeflipping.com. Now, from rags to rentals, we're getting our program finished up. We're getting it dialed in. What I'm trying to do is take my business model, which I feel has become a bit more complex because I'm a complex guy, and I'm making it into the more simple version that anyone can put into action within like 2-3 hours.
Awesome. Man.
And I have my other 3 guys that are doing this business right now following that methodology. I want all 3 of them to be completely successful with it. And once all 3 of them have reached 100% success and they're making over $10,000 a month each, then I will release the program, but only if I have 100% success rate with these 3 guys. That being said, you can go to FromRagsToRentals.com to pre-register for that. And
I love this stuff.
We're going to be releasing that out to you. And you can also join our Facebook group. I will be giving free education, free lessons, and Facebook live calls to help people along the way as we're doing it ourselves.
Awesome.
So feel free to go to FromRagsToRentals.com or AlphaHomeFlipping.com.
Think Realty Nation, this next segment is brought to you by Real Property Management, which is the largest residential property management franchise in North America, managing tens of thousands of properties for individuals, investors, and institutions throughout the country. You can learn more at realpropertymgt.com, or you can call them at 888-806-7088. Now, I'm going to make this quick because it's a quick little article. Recently on Realtor.com, there was an article published about the top 10 places that are luring out-of-towners to move into, which actually ties in very nicely with what Nick was just talking about. If you find some of these properties on Craigslist, you might be able to benefit here. Let's see. Number 10, Las Vegas. Number 9, Tucson, Arizona. Number 8, I bet you can't guess, Greenville, South Carolina. I actually love Greenville from an SFR perspective as well. I'll probably talk about that here in the upcoming couple of weeks. Number 7, North Point, Florida. Number 6, where's number 6? Portland, Maine. Number 5, I cannot read a map today. Cape Coral, Florida. Number 4, Columbia, South Carolina, which actually I also like for SFR. And one of my really good friends is doing an amazing job with the SFR space in Columbia, South Carolina. Number 3, Honolulu, Hawaii. Number 2, Boise, Idaho. And number 1, Charleston, South Carolina. South Carolina topping this list. Holy cow. Number 1, 4, and 8. All right, Think Realty Nation, you know where to go to get in touch with Nick. If you want to get in touch with me, head on over to thinkrealty.com. This entire show is brought to you by Narada Real Estate Investments, your premier source for cash flow investment property. Visit Narada at www.turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. Think Realty Nation, that's a wrap. Until next time, happy investing.